Welcome to TruthStream. We are here with the lovely Lisa Schermerhorn and the amazing Rose Rishika. And we're going to be talking about, we hear a lot of folks talk, sell their souls or etc. And that's one of the focuses of this conversation because we hear it in the entertainment industry and wherever else we might hear that. But so we're gonna talk about that and whatever comes up organically. And Lisa's here also to interpret some of the more esoteric components of what Rose might be saying if for some reason we don't understand. So anyway, ladies, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you.
My favorite human beings, three of my favorite human beings. This
Yes.
is wonderful.
And we're also all
Love you
part
guys.
of the Grassroots Warrior Network that's been
Yes.
created by our amazing friend Kevin Hoyt. And now, real quick before we start, I know that Lisa, you've started your own channel, and it's all one word, and it's important to have people. So tell the people about your channel, and there's now 5 subscribers. We just kicked.
Oh, thank you. I'm so
No,
excited.
it's 6. No, 5 is me. You're the 6th one.
Okay,
So
perfect.
I'll be the 7th. Hey,
All
that's
right.
There
I
we
like
go.
it.
So basically, our dear friend Kevin Hoyt has been nudging me, and finally, he invited me to be part of, or all of us to be part of his new network, the Grassroots Warrior Network. And as a certified hypnotherapist, and I've studied all types of energy medicine over 25 years, and I'm an expert in the subconscious mind. So I have a book called "In Every Belief is a Lie," and it's all about our programming. And so my show is Where Truth Lies. So one of the things that I ask people to do is really talk about their programming from when they are young, where their beliefs came from, what they did to overcome that, and how they were able to break through those lies and beliefs, and then what they're now doing in their life to be of service to others. How are they helping people now that they've overcome that? And I've had some really amazing interviews with people. So what happens is I put the interviews up on the Grassroots Warrior Network, and then after 24 hours, it goes up on my Rumble account, Where Truth Lies, all one word, with Lisa Schermerhorn. And we'll get into a little bit of some of those interviews, but I met a woman when we went down to Florida for the Skippy Doodah event. Her name is Catherine Robbins, and she is a survivor of some seriously deep state child trafficking. Her story is heart-wrenching. I think you guys also did an interview with her as well.
It's coming up, yeah.
Yeah. I just did an interview that's going to come out in a couple of weeks from a woman who spent a lot of time with extraterrestrials. And she had this octopus-like creature that showed up and put this, she has this thing on the side of her temple. She's also a Huna with Huna Flash. She's good friends with Michelle Skio, which you'll hear more about. But it acts as a 4th eye. It opens portals. You wait till you hear this interview. She's pretty amazing. And then I have another interview that's coming up. A dear friend of mine who I've studied energy medicine with, and spent time with indigenous people in Peru and Costa Rica. She survived a plane crash in Nantucket at 18 months old. Her mother died in the plane crash. Ended up living with her grandparents who were alcoholics. She's now sober. She also survived breast cancer, and she was in the Capitol on January 6th and has been visited by the FBI several times, and she's got a pretty amazing story. So please check out the Grassroots Warrior Network. There's some really amazing stories, and I'm really having a lot of fun doing these interviews, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot more. So that's a little bit about me.
Very cool. Rose, do you care to tell a little bit about you before we delve deep into the topics of the day, please?
Uh-oh, what I should say.
She's an amazing healer. She has done incredible things for me and many other people, brought back people from near death at 2 weeks left to live who were on hospice and now cancer free. She's an amazing healer.
See,
Thank you.
there's Lisa speaking because she knows really
What
well.
about the telepathy?
I just translated that for her.
It took a lot out of the way. So I'm a healer, a mother, a wife, and 13 grandbabies. uh, I'm from Brazil. I taught for 22 years. I'm a social worker. I'm a psychologist. And I'm here. My passion always been like to serve and help and guide people. I have the blessings of the divine to always be with me since I was 17 months old. They always guide me through, taught me a lot. And now I'm in a point like, you guys gotta teach me more. I don't understand this whole nightmare that is going on. So, and they always provide. So I'm one that is always listen to the source. I'm like, I'm a regular human being, like everyone goes through challenges. But the way I see it through, it is just connecting with the source. And by connecting with the source, you're connecting with your I am presence. That always there is no limit, and bypass the matrix. I think that's like when it creates fear in you or walls and things, so that sets you free. So I think it is the one thing that I want to help people to understand, that the power lies within. And we get distracted with the, you're not going to get that, you're not um, fit for it, you're not qualified, you're not smart enough, you're not. And reality is we are. We are. So that's a little bit about me, I guess.
Well, you tell a little story about what happened to you at 18 months old.
So I was born on a farm in Brazil. And when I was about 18 months old, I had a croup. And croup back in those days was a disease, contagious, that the person died. So, and with me, I was in an isolated room in a hospital. And I remember crying and calling my father, that he was in the window watching me in this little crib. And mother, she materialized right in front of me. I see, like, you see flashlights or just colors, very pale colors, and manifested in a shape of her, that beautiful skin, pure light, and with the veil. And she looked at me through telepathy. She said, if you want to be with him, go within and fix what's wrong. So I remember going within and everything was a knot. I remember something like, when you get a rope and a tight knot. And I remember pulling this. It's like my fingers pulling and opening, and that dark oil went through. Very thick oil. And later on in life, you understand it was the blood. So I think it was my first healing. And then after that, it is always something, but I never thought I was special, was something, until very late on in life, very late on. I was on my teens when I realized that not everybody had this connection. So I grow up with my friends, and then you meet another friend, and friends that I call it is like Mother Mary guide me through this. Then I grow up with Jesus. Then it came a Native American. I call him a white feather, and then many others. Then later on came an Arcturian. I have a Pleiadian. I have some. So it depends when you're doing healing with the person who shows up. So I have a lot. I just told Lisa early today, I have an Egyptian one now, and she's adorable. And what she's doing, and I'm like, oh my God, I love you, girl. So you always learning with them. It is an endless journey. I love that and what each one brings. And they like, now it's time for you. Like you go to states, now you need to do this next stage. So yeah, this is not creation of my mind. Some people like, I have a bachelor's degree in social work and I have a master's degree in psychology, a master's degree in English as second language. But my friends was always there. I got an A plus in college here when I got my master's in psychology. I missed the day, the final. And the professor, he's not with us anymore. He's in spirit. He's like, Rose, just give me a message from my mom. And I'm like, I went to his office and I'm like, oh my God, nobody ever put me on the spot like this. And his mama came and it said something to him. I don't remember. Hey boy, something. He said, yeah, that's my mom.
Wow.
And, so my life is just like an adventure. The divine always taught me to see life through the eyes of a child. When we meet in person, you see, like Lisa and I, we always laughing and having fun because we don't let this society crap thing to push us down. We just have fun. It's hard and things, but we keep the journey easier. It's the way we set the mind, and that's how they always teach me. Just know it's gonna work out. It's just gonna work out. I just came out of a bed of 16 months, but I won. So, well, this matrix trying to trick me, and Lisa was crying with me. So the banks did a trick on me on my mortgage. And then
Oh,
for 16 months, they didn't let me pay. And I'm like, okay, do you think you're gonna catch me? I didn't know that my husband was so stressed because when I paid them off yesterday, my husband cried. Then I said, not here, boy. I knew like I could not see a way out, but I knew it was coming. And when the bank came and that word started with F, and then I turned around on them, I guess, not foreclosure, F you. So
She
and
would
I,
literally send checks and they would send them back. They would not let her make payments. And then they threatened foreclosure on her. And
Wow.
everyone she went to, no one would help her.
yeah.
And they were literally on her doorstep ready to take her home. And finally, like a miracle happened, the money appeared and it all went away.
And when the guy
It's been
said
a
it,
nightmare. It's been a literal nightmare.
oh yeah, it takes like you see that physically, like your body, pain here, pain there. And so what's going on? Is the fear, the insecurity, and you work hard for something, then out of the blue. And even the bank, Wells Fargo, that's my mortgage holder, I contact them and they like, that doesn't make sense. But we cannot intervene because we source that to a third party. But we're gonna get in touch with them. Nothing was moving. And then when he called Wednesday, okay, and he tried to trick me with you gotta pay this amount. I said, no. And by the way, oh, my son, mom, I was so proud of you. And I like, you don't do that. And I was lecturing the guy and I said, I'm gonna pay. And the way he made it, if I paid the way he wanted, I would have lose $250. You wanna like 50 something thousand. I said, no, sir. And the way he went and I paid and I'm like, the guy wasn't happy. I don't know.
Wow.
They try. When one thing it is, when you're in this divine order, they find a way to trick you. But guess what? Did not work.
Well, here's an example, and I invite people to really look at, because oftentimes we see the world through all the problems we have, right? And then we don't see the miracles that happen that get us through.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, can I share a little bit of what happened with your house before that, or would you rather not talk about?
Okay.
So Okay, I just don't want to share people's business unless I have permission.
Right.
Oh,
So,
let's have
so
fun.
all right. So when I first met Rose, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna put an addition on the back of the house. I found this nice Brazilian man. He's gonna do this beautiful addition." He knocks out the back of her house, just puts these walls without any insulation. He told her he needed all the money for supplies and then took off
Oh
and
God.
took 6 figures
Oh my God.
and left her with no money, no heat. Her house was 30 and 40 degrees in the house. And then she found 10 other people or more that did this. They brought him to trial. He went to jail. He doesn't have American citizenship. So in the meantime, she's got propane heaters in her house and she's praying and praying and praying and praying. And all of a sudden, money shows up for the installation, and then she meets someone who's supplies kitchens and gives her below cost as a gift for her kitchen. It was like miracles kept showing up at discount, people giving things to her and showing up, and her house is magnificent. And she did it through prayer and asking, working her ass off, but she called it all in. And so she was an example of seeing that. And I look in my own life when I start to go into that dark place and then I pray and then something happens. For an example, I have a log home and I have this 1,200 square foot deck. And I found out that all the support beams were, well, not all of them, but they were rotting and my deck was sinking. And I found someone who said they could do it for $120,000.
That's it.
Wow.
That's all.
I'll give you a tip after that.
And then I was praying and meditating and asking for help. And an hour later, a friend of mine who's a carpenter texts me about something completely different. He had done a retreat at my house several years ago. And he came over and he goes, "I'll fix it for you." I was like, "What?" "So I'll take care of it for you." So it's the power of prayer, the power of asking and believing and manifesting and getting those blockages out of the way. And a lot of times, like Rose and I work as a tag team with people because I work more with the mental, emotional state, and she'll work in the spiritual state, although we do both. But if I see someone that's really, really blocked, and I'm like, this is where the big guns go. I call in the big guns. I send them to Rose. And then Rose is like, "You know what? I did some big shifting here, but they're not connecting. They're not integrating. Can you do some work to help them do that?" So she'll call in the guides, and everyone thinks that spirit guides are airy fairy and nice, or that Jesus or Archangel Michael will come in with these nice, things. And man, they come in with 2x4s and they will whack you.
They tell you once, twice, third time, run.
Run.
Because it comes, and then you go back crying. And they said, "I told you, the day that I wrote the guy the last check, because he came for an extra money, and I was so trusting, the divine screamed at me. They hit the pen and they said, 'You're not signing this check.'" And I'm like, when you doubt yourself because you want something so bad. And the bank called me. That never happened. "Are you authorizing this person's here to cash this check?" And I said, "Sure." When I hang up and I said, that dawned on me. Then I started with fear. The guy disappeared. So, and sometimes we want something so bad that we don't listen to the divine, because they always communicate with us, but they cannot bypass our free will. So you want that? Here we go. And then when I went up crying, oh, I heard so much from them. "We did this, we did that, we did, then you didn't listen." So, and then you go back, so like, "Lord," and they said, it is a lesson, be patient. One day I was like, I'm gonna put a pity party. And then I realized nobody's gonna show up. So what are you gonna do? Then it is like the only one that really held my hand through that was Lisa. Even my husband, he had just came from war. He didn't have foundation for that. And Lisa was crying with me, poor baby. She was literally like going through. I made and I always that big mama. I made a Thanksgiving here at home. Inside the house was 19
Degrees.
degrees. And I invited like my brother, his family. He's like, do you have a ski suit and something? So come in. Why do we have food? So I have no bathroom and no sink, nothing on the first floor. I had a little sink on the basement. So everything, we got jugs of water, bring it up, cook it with, bring it downstairs. And I keep joking, let us go. I have a lake on the back. So let us go to the lake to do the dishes. So it was like 4 or 5 years, Lisa, like on that journey.
Yeah.
And I got there and became a way better than I could ever imagine. So it was a divine gift.
Yeah, sometimes if you have patience and allow the work to be done, there's amazing things that can show up.
Yeah.
I've noticed that myself. Like, wait, this isn't going how I want it to. Like, kind of like the last 30 years of my life and many of our life. And then now it's like, oh, all of this is starting to make more sense now. So,
yeah, exactly.
you know,
Because it was a great lesson. One thing was all the kids learned a lot. I got a way more, I wouldn't say more respect for them, but now I say a little thing, they all like curious listening.
Well, they
Because-
respected you because they saw there was no stopping her. She was on fire. Like most people would have given up, especially after they let that guy out of jail and he started doing things again. And
Right.
no, there's no recourse. There's no money. You can't get your money back. The laws around contractors and the way that, they deceive people. But she was despondent, but never lost hope. Like always kept praying and saying, I'm confused. I don't know why this is happening. Please show me what I need to do. And the ultimate surrender. And it's also your timeline. It's like, I want it now. She had to wait 5 years.
Yeah.
And finally when the heat, when she got the insulation finally, then she could breathe. But you had 2 or 3 years of no heat in the house, which was frightening. And
nice
so
winters.
what?
Nice winters.
Yeah, in Boston. It gets cold.
Pictures, it is gorgeous. I mean, I don't want to say it was worth the wait, but it might be. I mean,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So
When
So
I
if you-
saw the kitchen, it took me about even over a month to feel real and belong. Like Lisa was here when they put in the crystal on the island, and even the girl got this crystal from Brazil, because it's translucent, you can see through it, and she for no extra cost, something that I never imagined, and that probably cost a fortune. A guy came here, your kitchen here is at least 150,000. Oh, that's worth it. What the
that
guy
she got for like almost, you wouldn't believe. I mean, that's what I'm saying, a miracle. Like she manifested a magnificent kitchen for very little money. It was amazing. And on a side note, on over your left shoulder is a triangular box.
It's my candle.
Her candles that she makes during the new moon. These are healing candles. They're very powerful.
These candles, it's miracle candles. Like when Trump won, I told all my family, I didn't know anything about politicians. I never got involved, but knowing the guy by TV shows, and I'm like, serious? And he won us.
I mean, I felt the same way.
I was the same way.
Great to see what's going on with this guy. Let me see if I can find the picture. And when I saw the candle and the candle talked, well, I communicated with the candle. That was like a miracle. to see, oh, that was easy. Let me see if it is you. The way he showed as a soldier. Oh, it's not here. But you can see this one here. When we went to close, Lisa took this picture. We went to close portal. Who was helping me was a dragon. See the dragon?
Yeah.
Look at the photo.
Yeah, the dragon shows up. So Barry and I were on the back deck. Our friend Barry lit the candle and praying, and Kevin and Rose were down closing a portal in southern Vermont. And it was a dark, dark energy portal. It was not pretty. That's why Barry and I stayed here. We let you go.
I got sick for months.
Don't I go down there?
Trying to take that thing off my back, and we did it. So the candles was channeled, and they have a prayer, mantra, and affirmations, and it is like to pierce the veil of illusion and help you to reconnect back with your I am presence. It's very precious. To make the candle, it has to be on the new moon. I need to be very alignment, or I cannot do it. Because I did that before, and guess what? I'm not selling my candles. And then comes one smart friend, and they said, it doesn't have the energy they're supposed to. And why it doesn't? You didn't follow the protocol to build them, to make them. So I lost it. And I said, okay, that's Trump. What do you guys see?
Soldier.
Oh, wow.
So when you light the candles, they speak to you, they give you messages, or they'll tell you what they pulled out or what they brought in. You can see angels sometimes, you can see all kinds of things.
Wow.
They're pretty amazing.
This reminds me of we did an interview with Veda Austin last year, and in the water, there was images when she froze something. It was amazing to see the images that showed up based on the energy that I mean, you got to see this.
Yeah, she studies water, and it's amazing how the water will capture the intention. You know, I mean, just from a photograph or a suggestion,
right?
It appears in the water as it freezes. It's phenomenal.
Well, that's the Masaru Emoto's look.
See this lady? It is a lady going through a bad divorce and living out with the son. 9 years old. And then she burned the candle and sent it to me. Can you see the angels around? And look at her here. You can see her hair. She loves her boobs. The child.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See how beautiful. It is a gift for humanity. Right now, time of transition, because the candles, it is made out of beeswax, and the beeswax is the only matter, the way they explain, that hold divine codes. So that's why the new moon, you get this energy, this frequency, and bring that in. It is magical when I'm making them. It is so beautiful. So it is one of the gifts from the source to us.
Right.
The prayer, the mantra and affirmation is really amazing. It's like the way you honor yourself and reconnect back. It is divine, cosmic, universal energy, pure love. That's God, which created the whole universe. I am in you, you are in me. I am in you, you are in me. I am in you, you are in me. When you say that, like really feeling, please guide me within your divine wisdom, love, protection, health, wealth, ability to heal myself and others. I am. I am the flame. I am the divine flame. I am the light workers flame. I am the Christ consciousness flame. You're reconnecting back with the divine conscious. Sometimes when you say Christ, people say, oh, I'm Jewish. So, but a Christ conscious is a divine conscience. So I love it because Lisa is Jewish and it's so cute. She got it.
Brazil together, and we went to a waterfall, and all of a sudden I get a hand on my head and I'm underwater, and I come up and she's doing a prayer. I'm like, you just baptized me, didn't you? She goes, I said, okay, I'm covered, thank you. I got it all.
It was the divine, this divine mother. We were like part of the rainforest, and this waterfall was beautiful, and the divine came, this beautiful energy, and they are very loving and said, my daughter needs a blessing, like an opening, whatever we can call. And it is like, and then her feet was on earth with the water, the sun was beautiful. There we had the four elements, and then to realign her. So we live in this magic world, life, reality.
So one of the things when you were starting to talk, Joe, in introducing this was mentioning about people selling their souls and what's been going on in the with really Hollywood. And what's interesting that I've noticed, and I saw this last night. So my daughter and my son and their partners went to go see a concert last night, and they were showing all of these, snapshots and videos. And I literally, on the stage is a giant pyramid with a round circle above it. I'm like, and then I've heard that oh my gosh, what's her name? Young girl,
Taylor Swift.
singer-songwriter. What?
Taylor
Swift. That people are literally having blanks. They're not remembering parts of the concert because they were literally doing satanic rituals in these big stadiums with the children and the parents who are all there, and they're literally not remembering. And Rose and I have talked a lot about this because what happens is they suck people in, not realizing what they're getting themselves into. And they're literally signing their souls over. And once you do that, the spark of who we are as creator beings is now gone.
I think Disney.
And I don't know if you want to expand on that, Rose.
Earth, it is a prison planet. The war right now, and what is a prison planet? It is a prison for the energy, for the soul. When you got in here, when I astral travel, you see Earth, it has a dome over. So that's why I think a lot of people, Mr. Kevin, says that Earth is flat. So the way you see it, you can think it is flat because of the dome that it closed. So the dome, it is like, let us say it is a crystal or a glass covering, but it's not. It is an energy field that you cannot go out. So, and so that's why it is the recycling of the soul. You die in this physical, you hit the dome and come back. No, you go to this 4D, you learn whatever and come back, because you cannot go back because a lot of us, the soul was created, born in another reality, in another planet. Like my soul comes from the Pleiadians. I have another parts on my DNA too, but like the core, it is from the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians, the Arcturians, because the Pleiadians is very present too. So you cannot go back and you cannot remember. So, and who's control that? What is the difference with that? We are very independent, sovereign. We very powerful beings. We have the capacity to not even need a spaceship to go through the universe. Jesus did that. We are portals, so we can go. So by knowing our wisdom, our capacity, so they slave us because they do not have the soul that we have. It's a different species. They don't have the generation that is through the heart. That's why the Christ consciousness is God conscious, the love, the heart. Because when you have that, you are a sovereign being. So as we don't know that and bypassing the lies, so we are so suppressed. And a lot of people struggle, like Earth became today, is this dance 3D, is a struggle. Like, for example, what I'm going through, I went through with the house. I went through with my daughter. It's everything to push my frequency down. Give up. You're not going because you're awakening, you're freeing yourself, and we're not going to allow that. We're going to push you down. So it is, and that makes you stronger. When you go through a battle and you succeed, and you're like, watch me, now I learned I can do this. So you keep getting stronger and stronger. And so, and then became the governments. They are the one that control us, create our reality. You go to school, you do this, you do that. So for you to be happy, you need to have the best house, the best this, the best degree. So we create that illusion. So we are out of the heart. And for you to be very famous, happy, you need to get all the fancy car, clothes, and things. But who's controlling this? It is another races that is not human. They are not human like us. They are not in that conscious as us. Like we have bad Arcturians, we have bad Pleiadians, we have an amazing reptilians, Archons, you name it. So it doesn't mean the race is bad. If you get out of Earth and like if you go to Mars today and say, oh, the humans will come to help us, and say, run. Humans is the worst ones because we, in this physical look, we go out there and we are slaving and doing bad things to other races. Instead, making friends and learning. For us to see in 3D is the same way the European did it to Americans, the Native Americans when they came to conquer. They enslaved, they bypassed, they lied, they took all they could from them, and they suppressed them that they don't know their values anymore. So when we get in a jam in life, and people want to be famous, I want to be the best. So they made a pact. You have to make a contract with those guys for you to be famous, for you to be there. Like you're gonna be like you're gonna be booked solid, you're gonna be selling your whatever you do, like every movie you're gonna be there. You're gonna do this and that. You need to sign this contract. The sad part it is when you sign that, it's very rare, 1%, so you can retrieve. And when you sign this contract, you're selling your soul for the fame. So I had a very famous singer that this person came to me in a call. Lisa's laugh. I never talk about that. Not revealing, but when the person called, I'm seeing a singer in I always see like nightclubs and things dark in a dark place like basement singing and in New York, and I told her that, and yeah, and then it came because it came for a pain, so the pain went away. So they came back with the pain, but the divine always says you cannot do this and this and this. So I'll tell you the message in my mind. The divine is saying, don't go straight here because of this. The divine is saying, do not go to the boat, airplane, or something. But I don't know what it is behind. So the way the divine was telling this person, it is like, do not do what you're doing Otherwise, we won't help you. That person was in a nightmare. And I knew a little bit about it, like the pain, because I could feel it, what it was going through. And it was fear and instability. It was the hip. So, and then it comes the next one, and it like the divine again, you're not doing these and these. And I love that client that she used to send me thousands of dollars for the session because she was loaded and it was happy with the result. And one time said, you got to stop. And I'm thinking she's using drugs. And I said, she's using drugs, interfering, or drinking alcohol is interfering with the healing. And one time he called again. I almost shook it, like it wanted for me to go in a show at the Garden in Boston. And the divine works like, that's why we need to listen and never go angry when things goes wrong. It has a reason. I had a last client, and he ended like about 5 or 6, and I invited him for dinner. Remember when Chris and I was doing your chicken and it did not work? And I put in a slow cook and I put it wrong and I put it too warm and I invite him to dinner. Can I invite my girlfriend too? Sure. So, and I told my husband, run to the Brazilian bakery, buy meat because this chicken is not going to be done until tomorrow. So I didn't check my phone. So one of her assistants something called and said she want to meet you in person because it was all remote healings. Want to meet you in person? No, but before that, in one of the calls, she's like, you might know me. I'm a famous and things. And I said, oh, but because she gave her birth name, and I didn't associate because I don't follow anyone. I don't know. And my name is this. And I said, oh, good. And nothing like excites me. Oh my God, you are. So I didn't go to the show because my kids was like, oh, mom, would love to go. So when I saw it was 10 something p.m. So, oh, I missed that. And even talking about that, I can feel the energy. Even like my hands is feeling. That's interesting. So then I will ask if I'm not supposed to talk or supposed to. Now it's too late. So so and then she called again, like tremendous pain and think not move and crying. And then I'm gonna tell you that's the last time we're gonna help you. Do not call, do not bother, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm good to deliver a message. And they like do yell at her in a one way, and I'm like, I don't get it. I even told Lisa, why is that? And then comes COVID. And I'm like, holy camole, holy. When I start learning, things all fall on my lap. I'm like, Lisa, watch this. The fall cabal, Lisa, do this. And I was like, and then it came to me what happened, everything. And oh my God. And I felt very sorry because the person was drinking babies, and doing all that for the fame. What happened is when you sell your soul, you're gonna go to the top. But the price, there is no, I'd rather be the most humble person ever than get to this.
So just so the viewers, because I might actually cut this segment out, right, what we're about to go into. What exactly does selling your soul mean, and what happens, and what are you giving up? What is the permanence? What is the true horrifying thing that means to someone when someone's
It is like we make a deal. You're gonna be famous, so you're gonna be whatever you want.
right?
You're gonna have all the money,
Right,
all
we got
the
that part. What happens in permanence to the soul?
because I do not have a soul. I don't have energy in me. For me to survive, I need your energy. When I catch your soul, I make this energy prison. That's where it keeps me alive.
So they have to survive around and that's where the loosh comes from. That's all that they need to feed off of. That's why all the children are underground, because they can't live, they can't function without it, because their soul is gone, that creative spark. So what was the name of the fellow, Donald Marshall? Okay, so he didn't sell his soul, right? So they use him because he still has the creative spark. So they go after him to keep creating for them because they can't create anymore.
They don't create anything.
They lose their abilities.
You know, was you, Lisa, talk about the pyramid?
Which time?
On the show. So they cannot even create a sacred symbol. They don't have that. So that's why they use sacred symbols of earth that we think this is sacred. That's why they create every, like for example, Hawaii, it is like the 7 chakras. They have a lot of dark they're sucking everywhere on earth, like the ley lines that cross is a powerful divine energy. They put a stadium, a church in there to suck the energy because they are not a generator of life.
Right. So what happens is then when they die, right, they either transfer the essence of them, right, into another clone. But you had talked about when they get caught, someone like the really dark ones, they take their souls off planet, right? The good guys, when they get them and they take them off planet, and they actually they have to start over again, reincarnation to the state of they wipe their soul and they start reincarnating again from a rock.
Like
millions of
Dolores
years.
Cannon talks about.
Yeah. Right.
So
they have to start all over again.
Okay, a question. So I've been talking with Steve, my producer. We're working on a new song, and it takes a lot of effort and time to do this right. And Derek Johnson has talked about in Nashville. They can come in with 10 different songs, and then they hire the 50. They have 50 people in Nashville roughly. They all know, they're great guitar players, but a lot of the songs sound very, very similar, right? I mean, the country songs, the fiddle comes in, or the lap steel guitar. And so I think what Steve and I have been struggling with in this conversation, we've talked about Donald Marshall, and he's like, there's no way, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out if we actually have Donald on the show at some point or not. You need to plug in your computer. Yeah. There's no way that one person, and we're not saying it's specifically Donald, can just create all these different songs for all these different genres and all these different artists. So whether that's true or not, we're just plugging in the computer. I guess my question is you look at the different artists out there. You got whether it's U2 or Aerosmith and all that. If these guys can't create, and let's say that, there was a lot of music around before the Donald Marshall story.
No, they can't create.
Well, let me just finish real quick. There's got to be a lot of people that are maybe that do have souls that are writing these songs for these beings, these entities, posing as that are creating for these people in Hollywood, for these musicians. So it's going to be interesting to see who is writing these songs, whether it's Donald Marshall or someone else. Like, there's so much music out there, and if these artists can't be creative because they sold their soul, who's actually writing this music? So, Rose, what were you going to say? I just wanted to get that out before that, because that's
no. Perfect. A lot of them, it depends the stage they still creating music, but a lot of the songs that they say, behind the scenes, I write a song, I'm gonna give you $5 million because it's a good thing, but you didn't write that. So who wrote that song was Lisa. Lisa's gonna sing, it's gonna be famous, she's the writer. How many people that wrote and never been seen?
Right. That's a their
Or
ghost
they
story.
or they write it. Rose and Lisa wrote it, this song, but Lisa is the famous singer. So but what is not created at all, it is part of the 13 family. They are the head of the snake, and they're not creative. So when they see someone with a talent, especially mediums, they go after. So, and then they use us as maybe it's not a puppets, but it is like they slaves to help them to co-create, to have their lavish life and things. They don't have the creativity we have. That's why they are very into art, into music and things, like very artistic, because they don't create. They don't have that creativity. And also too, for you to create a song that touches other heart, it has to come from the heart. Because have you seen lately, I think it started in the 90s, the songs doesn't make sense at all. It's just like and the lyrics is even lost
Yeah.
because
It's
it's
like
a
AI
other way.
creating or something.
Yeah, it's other way to mess up the minds. Back in the days, all the songs touch your heart and you feel, so it is all a planning for you to get out of your heart. The humans that is still stubborn, they're not giving up.
Well, they changed the frequency of the music, as everyone knows. And
Right.
then on top of that, it was interesting because I've been going back, they have a lot of music again in concerts, and I feel like I'm going back in time because a lot of the country music and a lot of the bluegrass and a lot of that, they still come from the heart. It's local musicians. Like, Joe, I know how much you put into, putting your heart and soul into the music. There's a machine that they have in the music industry where they have a formula and all the music starts to sound alike, and then they're programming. And when I listen to some of this music, I'm like, I don't understand how this music got on the radio between the lyrics and what they're pumping out, and it's all programming. And it's horrible. And between what they're doing with the children, the teenagers, 20 something, I see the way they're dressing, the way they're conducting themselves, and what's important and how they've been programmed. They've taken the heart out of everything. And for these people, and that's why we have so much mental health. We have a mental health crisis
Right.
because they have been disconnected from source, disconnected from themselves, and they're lost and they're medicated and they are depressed. And we're watching kids commit suicide, kids on drugs that are like, you know, when I was younger, we would experiment. We go out to the bars and drink and maybe smoke a little weed. But the stuff that these kids are doing, I'm like, holy smoke, they're hallucinating and passed out. I'm like, how much do you have to do so that you can't function in life anymore because you can't deal with your reality anymore?
Yeah, I mean, and Scott, after this, there's nothing against people that take herb. Like, if I do a small amount, like 5 to 10 milligram candy, I mean, I'm good. There's people that it's 100 milligrams at least. It's like, I don't know how they
Like
function.
this is 3 milligrams right here. You can't even tell. Yeah. But no, I asked a question, or I developed a theory actually, because I was always wondering how are they so successful with the mind control? I mean, you look at these NPC types, which is kind of another topic, but
Non-playable characters.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like they're just synced to this absurdity. There's no anima in them. There's no essence. Like, what's going on with these people? And what I've recently come to believe, I've been following the Chat GPT and just the progression of AI.
Right.
What a lot of people don't know is AI is not a new thing; it's an ancient thing.
Yep.
Also another topic, but a fascinating one. But but what I think, DARPA develops these technologies. DARPA and other entities, and I think they've been using AI for some time now. Remember when like music and art and entertainment just kind of went off a cliff? It just got real soulless in so many ways. Well, I think that's when the AI started developing all of it. And the thing is, with ChatGPT, you can program it, right? You have these prompts, so you create these suggestions, and I think these suggestions that it starts with are the programming.
Well, I've told this story several times about driving from Vermont to Massachusetts
Yep.
and getting a voice in my head telling me to get off the highway and go get that thing in my arm. And what
Because
we
you saw
don't
the
what
sign too,
I
right?
saw the sign was flashing,
Yeah.
and then I got the voice, and it happened twice. And that was part of the MK Ultra and the programming that comes through social media, that comes through the smartphones, through the TV. And here's the thing that's very frustrating is that I will be with friends and family at an event and say something that is even on the news, and I watch their eyes glaze over.
Yeah.
And I literally was at a party Thursday night. I was sitting next to two women and we were talking, politics came up, and I'm in Vermont. I have to keep my mouth shut. Otherwise, I'll have no friends left at all. So I just keep my mouth shut. And the topic of Robert Kennedy Jr. came up. Then I said, he's actually coming to speak in Burlington. And they're like, oh, wow, I didn't even know he was running. I'm like, what planet are you on? And then I said something about and they said, yeah, I don't know, about Biden. And I said, he's unintelligible. And there was one woman next to me said, I think that has to do with the lisp he had as a child.
You're right. Wow.
And it's like I have to sit there and keep my mouth shut but not laugh. I mean, it gets to a point where they are so deeply programmed, and they're like, he's a good man, he's done a lot of really good things. And and then they start to go in about Trump, and they go, the real fear, it's honest real fear. I can see the terror in their faces, and they were saying how all the anti-Semitics and down south, and how they hate Jews down there, and they believe everything that they're being told and programmed. And so it's very hard, and when you present evidence, it just goes over their head. And I have a family member whose son is 21 years old with pericarditis. I have sent him information, hasn't looked at it, said he would. I have another cousin who just had open heart surgery. Um, Young guy, found out someone this week in town just dropped dead at 55 years old, brushing his teeth, blood clot. Another woman I was sitting next to was on the ski mountain, had a heart attack on the mountain. And it's like no one's putting the puzzle pieces together. And it's very hard to watch. It's heartbreaking, and I'm having a really hard time watching people drop one after another, and I'm seeing it start to accelerate. And we have to stay really strong and be supportive, because this is just the beginning of it, I know. But there's options out there, and when you love someone and they don't even want to hear it, it's very hard. And one other thing you said, Rose, about contact with Arcturians and Pleiadians, I want to share a fun story. We were on my back deck, and I have views of the mountain, and I have a woods in the back, and Rose looks at me and she goes, they're here. And I'm like, and she goes, they're here. And I'm like, she goes, like, you don't see them? I'm like, see what? And she goes, the Pleiadians, they're all over your backyard. I'm like, what?
Oh, I love it.
She's like, and then she touches my hand like this, and my whole backyard lit up like fireflies. And
Wow.
I'm like,
Oh.
so I just stood there, and literally like fireflies. And then she took her finger away, and they were still there. It was amazing.
Oh God.
I just
My
lost you,
dog
Joe.
is a terrible producer.
Yeah, she.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, we didn't see a tail, so, um, so
Such a
it's
great
the
story.
real,
I'm definitely coming to Vermont now.
yeah.
And not that I wasn't already coming, but
But there's portals, and this area where I live is a charging station for a lot of extraterrestrials. I have photos that I need to share with you of, um, you can see the spaceships. I have one of them over my house. And then Rose is like, they're visiting you again. I'm like,
It's such a blessed place that Lisa's in. You walk into Mother Earth's heart when you go there, and that it is where everything is. And then comes Barry creating a fairyland. So it's so precious. And there it is like when you really feel grounded, and then all the universe opens. It's just magical. Uh,
last summer we were in my woods and Barry had made this big fairy forest and put all these sculptures and things around. And all of a sudden the three of us are sitting down and Rose said, oh, I just got instructions. I'm like, what? I need to open a portal right now. She opens a portal, it's daylight, and all of a sudden I thought we were with Tinkerbell. This little light is floating around in front of us. And we watched, she said, I opened a portal to the fairy, so now that they can come in. So it was really cool. All three of us saw it.
well, there is no better place for Barry on the planet, I don't think, than there.
I think she slept there one night with Tulip. No,
Or
with Lily.
Lily with the dog, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's so sweet.
so for you to understand when a soul like these guys here, they go in such a bad way that they really slave us. They have no feelings like killing, drinking the blood and all that, and they literally enslaved us. That's when the divine, we call the divine, our brothers and sisters, they are here. Like when we call the Ashtar Command, there is a bad fleet of Ashtar Command, they are bad guys. But we are talking about the good guys. They get these soul that is literally lost, bring them out of this energy here to the central sun, and there they are deleted. Central sun, when they bring them, it is like to a court. They are judged, and it is like there's no hope. You can do whatever. As soon as they're in a body, they're gonna go back to the same Hitler way. So, and that's the slavery. When you see someone in the fame and things, you have to make this contract. And when you lose that, one way to see that you're really loyal to me, the bad one, they have to give a body. They need to
Sacrifice.
sacrifice a loved one.
Yeah.
And sometimes could be your parents, your own child. That's come from the Old Testament. So when you start understanding more, like everything's right here in front of us, but all the veils you cannot see, like what they mind controlling today, like when there is a shooting, the person who walk in, like remember the shooting in Texas, that the young boy had no money even to pay his cell phone bill, totally catatonic. You could see inside him there was nothing. He had like the most expensive guns. Probably he never held a gun before, knowing how to load and shoot, and
Right.
driving a very expensive truck.
Yeah.
So how can you see that and don't see that?
Yeah.
And why it is so smart, because the law for in Texas, like everybody's allowed to have a gun, a way to people see and said, oh, we cannot have guns. And this young boy to do, and why they always target the kids,
Right.
because
Because
that's
they're vulnerable.
yeah, and that's the every single human being will feel for it. It's just this innocent angel. And when you lower your frequency in pain and sorrow, that's for them, it's fuel, it's life. For
Yep.
them, it's not just a fuel, it is life. So, and when you make this pact, that's when it's no way back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, yeah. Anything you want to finish on, because we're right at that sweet spot. We want any final thoughts here.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to reiterate, for anyone, the work that Rose and I talk about, that what we do is really, as people, not only people who are awake, but people who are slowly waking up, that are kind of being jarred with, what did I just do and what did I fall into? So working with people and helping them better understand why they got themselves into the situation. And also, a lot of people right now, as we're ascending into the fifth dimension, I say it's like walking through a screen, right? So all your dirt, all of your past stuff, be it ancestral or this lifetime or past lives, are all coming up on people right now. Everyone I know is struggling. Everyone. I'm like, 2 weeks ago, I had a Tuesday that I cried the whole day, and Barry took the day off because I couldn't move. But it's just stuff. It's like all our stuff. And so as we're working through this, it's making us lighter and really sit with the mirror. So I want people to understand that this is normal, that a lot of people are going through this, and don't do it by yourself. It's like, I invite people to really get help, get the help they need, get someone to hold their hand, and through this, because as we get to the other side, we need each other to get to the other side and help each other out. So both Rosa and I work online as well as in person. Rosa's work is amazing. And it's really important. It's really important work right now, because we need this to ascend.
Got it.
And on Earth today, it came so many healing modalities, things that not too long ago nobody ever heard about it. So, what is that? We are all healers, and this is here to help us. And the 3D mind, it is, I can do that by myself. Me with my guides and with everything that I know, the ability to help others, I need help. And one thing too, don't try to do that by yourself. Have love and compassion and humility for yourself, and reach out, because there is so many, even like you, a massage, even so many things that helps you. And it is good to understand. And one thing, to never judge yourself, to never be mean to you, and love all experience you went through it. don't don't judge you, like don't be your worst enemy, and don't be a victim too. Go through it, go through it, because you're not alone. Your guides, everybody, like I don't have an angel, guardian angel with me, I don't have these and these. That is bad illusion. We all, it is like I'm on earth without a mother. Even if your mother gave you to adoption, you came from a mother. So every single one here has a guardian and a loved ones, and we are here just to support and guide.
Right.
And the
But
divine spirit love.
pray and ask, because they can't help you unless you ask, because you have free will. And we can leave it at that, because I know we don't wanna- we'll go over time, but ask and keep asking and
Because the
pray.
divine will never cross your free will.
Awesome.
You don't ask, no help.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you just want to say where people can find you real quick, and we'll put the links below, and we'll end on that.
So you can go to my website, is rishikarose.com, and you can find out more about me.
There we go.
I'm at lisaschermerhorncoaching.com, or cnlpcoaching.com, which is Center for Next Level Performance. I also have a brand new Rumble channel, where truth
That's it.
Get it?
Yeah, you
With
got
Truth Lies. Okay, I got it. With Lisa Schermerhorn, but it's one word. Be my 8th follower. And you can reach us also through the Grassroots Warrior Network, and with Kevin Hoyt, who started this. And there's some really amazing people, including us, who are really spreading the word and helping people better understand. It's spiritual, there's geopolitical, there's all different kinds of people who are anchors on this. And please support. I don't know when this is going to be aired. Will it go up today?
No, probably a couple
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
there'll be
So
arms. There'll be
Yeah. Well, we won't go into that,
fireworks.
what we're giving her.
No, it's just a great. It's a great experience. Well,
yeah.
we're working on it anyway.
Exactly.
Well, I feel very grateful to call you both friends, and thanks for joining us today.
Awesome.
And we'll see you in a little bit, right?
Yeah, and we're Truth with Joe and Scott in case this is uploaded on any other channel. So, on Rumble. So, all right, everybody. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.